I'm battling a sinus infection, so my voice is not at its best, but I'm going to do my best.
You still sound good. You know,
Well, thank you, thank you.
it's okay.
Well, I've got cough drops in. I took some cough medicine before we started, and I got plenty of water. I should be good to go.
Okay. Well, if you need a moment, you just let me know. Slackers will understand, right? We'll
All right.
give Bobby a break. Okay. Thank you. Um, so yeah, man, welcome. Thank you for making time. I know you're gonna be busy because from what I saw on um, your website, like I think just yesterday, if I was looking correct, you're going to Dragon Con
I am. Yes, yes. Dragon
pretty
Con.
soon.
Dragon Con is Labor Day weekend in Atlanta. I have a table in the comic and pop art section. Um,
Nice.
Dragon Con is my favorite show of the year. It's 5 days of just nerdgasm exhaustion. I have a great time. Yes, I am worthless the Tuesday and Wednesday after,
Hmm.
but it is. I've been doing it for over 30 years. It's a wonderful show. I have a blast.
You got anybody in particular you're looking to connect with to say what's up to that you don't get to see it? You know.
No, not really. I really haven't looked at the guest list a lot. I mean, there will always be people there I know,
Hmm.
but you look to catch up with writers and artists and musicians and whatnot. But
Yeah.
because I'm working a table. Like I very rarely get over to see the actors. Like they're in a hotel 3 blocks away,
Of course. Yeah.
so I rarely get over there to see them. So I'm generally either at my table or at panels. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's not as much of that when you work the show.
Right.
But yeah, I mean I try to take a little lap around, but it is a it is a monster of a show. It takes
I
over
believe it.
several city blocks. The furthest I have panels at the Cortland Grand, which is 6 blocks from where my table is.
Okay.
So to do an hour-long panel, I'm gone 2 hours because it does take a good 20 to 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah,
So
dude. All
yeah,
right.
so there's a
I,
lot of that. It is spread out over 5 hotels, 3 convention centers. I mean, it is massive.
okay. Well, more power to you, bro. Like
Yeah.
I try to
Like I
do
said,
is
I'm exhausted when it's over.
I bring all of the vitamin C you can and energy and water and
Yep.
maybe some aspirin. I don't know.
Lots of water, lots of those airborns.
Hmm.
I take a cold and sinus pill every day just to make sure to fight off any because you shake a lot of hands and all this. So
Especially, yeah.
you put the what's that stuff called, the
Oh, the hand
hand
sanitizer.
sanitizer, and
Yeah.
yeah. Make
Okay,
sure you
man.
remember to eat because you get so busy sometimes you don't remember to eat. So you have to make sure you take time to do all of that. Get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, honestly, that's my job when I go to conventions because I have so many, creative friends. I just walk around passing out waters and snacks
Mm,
sometimes, but also eating theirs, to be honest. And then like making sure that people have remembered to get their meals.
yeah. Well,
Watch a few tables.
yeah. The city of Atlanta really has, excuse me, has they do like all the restaurants around do Dragon Con specials, or they have food kiosks in the convention centers and in the hotels, so you can get pizzas and hot dogs and hamburgers and pretty much any time of the
Mm.
day. Plus, there is a mall in the middle of all this, which has a functioning food court.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
So
that's
there's
even better.
plenty of yeah, there are plenty of opportunities to get food and drink and yeah,
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that you'll have a little bit of something, but good luck with
yeah.
those. Good luck with that walking. Uh, so
Yes.
anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked with hearing all the cool things about Dragon Con. I really wanted to. I
Have you
need to
ever have
start
you ever been? Have you ever been?
once. Back when I still lived in Chicago, I used to go to Dragon Con. But now
Yeah.
that I'm here in Portland, it's a little bit harder for me
It's
to get up that way.
yeah, it's a monster of a show. I mean, I
Yeah,
love it, but it is huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I did San Diego a couple times, and
Yeah.
I don't miss that
Yeah.
too much. Uh,
Oddly enough, it's one of those weird things because of the way Dragon Con is set up. It doesn't feel that bad to me.
okay.
So like I'm walking, like if I was to go downtown to Atlanta tonight at midnight, I would not go walk the streets. During Dragon Con, not a problem. Walk it,
Okay.
don't give it a second thought. there's just so much around, so much to do. People are looking out for each other. So it seems like there's, yeah, I don't really have, it doesn't feel like the massive monster that San Diego is.
Okay. That's fair.
Because it is more spread out. It is more spread out.
It maybe gives you a bit to just catch a little bit more air. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So like, yeah, like if you're going and you're like, if you only want to see the actors, you can go to that one hotel and you never have to go anywhere else.
Oh,
okay. You can kind of go, this is what I want to do, and you can make your plans to hit those buildings. And then there's a lot of people that do Friday I'm going to this building, Saturday I'll go to this one, Sunday, Monday. And so I'm in the comic and pop art track. And for me, it's like doing 4 different conventions because it's a different crowd every day. Because the people that came in on Friday, they're in another room on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So
got it.
It's a different group of people each day.
I think I can dig that setup. I kind of like that. I mean, as a con goer, I would appreciate that. Honestly, I probably would spend most of my time in the comic, or artist alley or something like that, and then maybe looking for toys to buy.
Yeah. Well, we are above the dealer's room. There's 3 floors of dealer's room. The 4th floor is the comic and pop art, and really, the comic and pop art floor by itself is larger than some big cons I've done.
Wow.
By itself, it's huge. So yeah,
no wonder everybody keeps talking about Dragon Con in this manner. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a beast.
Thank you for giving me some insight on that. I think maybe it's time for me to make a return.
Yeah, I think you would love it. It's a fun show.
Okay,
it's an expensive show, but it's a fun show.
I'll be ready. Bobby, you've been in the game for a long time, man.
Mm-hmm. I was first published in 1992.
Okay.
I sold my first professional comic where someone hired me to write something in 2000. And so I was doing my own stuff, but then I was doing comics for some small press publishers. And then during that time also I was writing a novel. And I sold that novel in 2004. And in 2005, oddly enough, as we record this, a week ago from when we're recording this, 20 years ago, that novel came out, and it was called Evil Ways, which you can kind of see back there.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it was a mystery suspense thriller.
Nice. Which I noticed after looking on your website a little bit that you have a lot of. You do a lot of mystery, suspense, and horror. But I mean, you're all over the place, really. But I think I saw that down here.
Yeah, I started doing. I wanted to do crime fiction.
Okay.
Murders, mystery, suspense, killing people. That's all fun. I wanted to do that. No publishers were hiring me for that because, oh no, you do stuff about fighting monsters and stuff like that. Evil Intent is the sequel to Evil Ways.
The sequel, okay.
Which basically it's another story with the same characters.
Ooh. Okay.
Each book does end on its own. I mean, every book is contained.
I'll use this as an example anyway, though, because that looks cool.
Yeah. And so I started doing them on my own because I wanted to do them. And I was writing other stuff for publishers. They were like, you want to write a horror story, or you want to write a sci-fi, or Zorro, or anything like that, which I don't own those characters. They just pay me to write them.
Right.
So I started doing that, and then doing these on my own. And then I've had a little success with the ones I do on my own, to where now publishers think of me as a suspense thriller writer. And so I get hired now to write mysteries for other publishers.
Nice.
Hang on a second.
No, take it. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, so those are fun. So Evil Ways and Evil Intent and Deadly Games, Deadly Deals, Tom Myers, Snow, I own all those. Those are characters I created, and I kind of
that must feel really good.
Yeah. So it's the way I like to explain to people. These books are like me planning for my future. when I do books for other publishers, usually it's we'll pay you X number of dollars for a story.
Right.
And so whether it sells one copy or a million copies, you know you're going to make X number of dollars, and you say, okay, great, I can pay some bills.
Mm-hmm.
Things like these that I publish, the money doesn't come in big chunks. It trickles in.
Right.
But it trickles in. I'm still today selling copies of Evil Ways 20 years later.
Wow.
So over time, there's a good influx of book sales. But also, I own those. So should the day some A-list Hollywood actor with a production deal runs across it and goes, I want to play that guy, then they have to come talk to me.
Okay. That's how we like it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Licensed projects, do get a little money in, but having your own, characters and worlds and stuff like that is really key. And sometimes working on those licensed things does get people to draw over to your independent material.
Right. Absolutely.
And,
right. Like when I did Remo Williams comes with a built-in audience.
Yes.
Or Zorro comes with a built-in audience. And so your hope is they'll read my story and go, that was pretty good. What else has he done?
Yeah. I did read your Remo Williams, by the way.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
that was a dream gig for me. I have been a Remo Williams fan since high school.
Me too. And that's why I ended up reading it, because I was already reading Remo, and I was like, oh. So when your name came across, I was like, oh, that Bobby Nash? Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was fun. I discovered those books in high school.
Yeah.
And then the movie came out, and I loved the movie.
Me too.
And then I was nominated for an award for my Remo Williams story, which is pretty cool. I didn't win, but I was nominated, so
It's still nice. Yeah.
It's very nice, because it was nominated for a Scribe Award, which are Italian related things. So
Dude.
yeah, they gave those out at San Diego this year, and so I didn't win, but at San Diego there were people there who heard my name, so that was very exciting.
Nice. That's what's up. Congrats on the nomination, though, for sure.
And those are fun. Writing those things you grew up reading or watching on TV. There's a lot of fun that goes into working on those.
Okay. I think that I feel like you have enough books that I've seen on your, first of all, Slack Pack. That's my audience, by the way. They call it the Slack Pack.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see how long it took me just to find the Evil Ways book? Did you see all those other things I scrolled by? So he's got stuff upon stuff that people are going to find one day.
At last count, I have 215 published credits. Some are short stories, some are novels, some are whatever. But yeah, about 250. I've been doing it a while.
Yeah, man. You know what? I think it's time we get into our first ridiculous question. I feel like it's my time to subject you to something stupid. So, yeah, let me go ahead and pull this up. We'll do it this way. And I don't know what you're going to get, but I'm going to do the first spin now. Let's see what happens.
Spin to win.
Oh, my God. We're back to the cannibalism questions? This just keeps coming up. So, would you eat a person if you had to? Like, for real, if you had to?
If we're trapped on if our plane crashes on top of a mountain and you're not going to make it, probably.
Okay.
I would like to say that the part of me that goes, oh no, we would find another way, but
all right,
convince yourself that everything tastes like chicken.
Yeah.
So
pretty much. I don't know. I tell people all the time that I'm on I'm not the guy you should be trapped with. I'm not going to resort to that immediately. I guess I just got to cook you up. It's only been day one. No, it's going to have to be a while, but I might.
And it may depend on how well I like you. If I like you, it may take longer for me to get there.
Fantastic.
It may just be where it's like, oh man, it'll be so much quieter if you were gone.
Yeah, fantastic. Let me pull this down. I want to move on to talk about a series that, dude, there were so many of these. So I need you to talk about Snow. What is the deal with Snow? How did you like come up with this series, and how many are there now?
That was there's actually a fun story to how Snow was created.
Okay.
I got a phone call from an author friend of mine, and he's like, "Hey, I'm working with this music producer, and they want to get into the ebook business, and so they want to do ebook novellas. They're not going to do print; they're just going to do ebooks, and they're looking for people." And I gave him your name, wondered if you'd be interested in pitching something, and I'm like, "Sure, I'd love to." Say, "Okay, great." And I hang up the phone. The phone rings again, and it's that producer going, "Okay, give me your pitch." And I'm like, So I always have 5 or 6 or 10 ideas that are just in like a file in the back of my head. And so I scrambled and I pulled 3 ideas I had and slammed them together. And I pitched that. And he said, "What's it called?" And I pulled Snow out of thin air. Yeah, because I didn't. The name Snow wasn't in my files at all. I pulled it out of thin air, and I was like, it would be that. And I mentioned too, I was like, it'll be like a love letter to cop and PI shows and novels of the 70s, 80s, early 90s. Like Rockford Files or Magnum PI, that feel. And so that's what I pitched, and they liked it. I wrote it. The publisher didn't want to stay, or it didn't last very long.
Okay.
It took me a while to get my rights back. Then once I got my rights back, they had only released, Snow Falls, which was the first novella.
Right.
And so I shopped it around a little, but at that time, publishers weren't interested in novellas, not like they are today.
Yeah.
And so I decided to do them on my own. And so I started releasing the novellas that way. And there are currently 7 novellas. This book, the volumes collect 3 per. So volume 1 has books 1, 2, and 3 in it. But there are 7 novellas. There are also 3 novella-length anthologies where I invited other writers to write my characters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's three novellas with 3 stories in it. So there's 9 total. So the collection has all 9 in it. And I wrote 1 per, so there's 6 stories by other writers that I know that I invited to come in and play with the characters.
That's what's up, man. I respect that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was fun. It was terrifying because you start to go, what if they write my characters better than I do? Really, that was a concern because I went to people I knew, so it wasn't like an open call. I went to people I knew, so I knew I was going to get good stories. That was not a problem. But but then my thought was, holy crap, what if they write them better than me? What if, But it turned out it was great. It was great fun. It was a lot of fun to see other writers what they picked up on. From the characters and what they decided to focus on.
I would imagine that would, like, even if they wrote something you hadn't thought of, that still gives you kind of leeway to adapt going in the future, like other things or new ideas and stuff like that. So yeah,
absolutely. There were 2 great examples. Gary Phillips wrote a Big John Samson crime thriller, and he wrote some stuff about the relationship between Big John and Snow's grandfather, Archer, who's his boss. He wrote some stuff about their relationship that I was like, I'm going to play with that in a future book.
See?
And then Nicole Givens Kurtz wanted to write a story with Snow's mother, who had never been introduced in the books, had only been mentioned. And so she and I worked together to create the character. And then she went off and wrote a story with Snow's mother.
Damn, that's really cool.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I wish more creators or writers would do stuff like this because, like, it really only expands your world. And, You know, and like, don't get me wrong. I do understand the fear and the risk, but the potential for greatness is also there when you collaborate with the right people.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you know, because you go in and it's the opposite end of like when I write Zorro or Remo Williams.
right.
You know, the people that own those characters, their job is to protect those characters. So sometimes they'll tell me you can't do that.
Yep, there's a
In
lot of
this
that.
right, in this instance, I had to be the guy to go, you can't use these characters because I already have something coming with them.
Okay,
Or you can't do this because I already have a book planned where we're going to touch on that. So I kind of went in up front and said these things are off limits. But then pitched
that's really
something.
good. Okay,
So yeah, and it worked out well. And like I said, I went to people I knew. That helped a lot. There was no, there was no deviationist. There was no problem. There was no, oh my God, what are they going to pitch? These were people that do this sort of thing for a living. So I knew they would pitch stuff that I could use.
okay, that's what's up. I like that. I wanted to bring up this one because this is one of your newer projects as well.
Mhm.
And, the cover caught my eye. Plus, I'm a sucker for secret agent stuff. So,
Yeah.
me and several of my friends always talk about secret agent books in general and try
Yeah.
to, like, collect them. But how long has this one been in your...
Well, it's weird. Secret Agent X is an old public domain character from the 40s.
Oh, it's that secret. Okay.
That's Secret Agent X.
Okay.
And so I did this book originally for another publisher. The publisher they were doing old pulp characters if they were created today. And I mentioned that Secret Agent X could be handled today and nothing changes in the story. Just the technology changes. Because everything that was relevant to his origin is relevant today.
Yeah.
And so he goes, prove it. And I'm like, damn it. So I wrote this novel, and I wrote it about, I don't know, it's been about 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. Recently, the publisher went under, and so the rights reverted to me. So I released it through Ben Books, which is mine. So I actually designed that cover. It's one of those.
I like it.
Thank you. I found a free photo thing where I downloaded a free photo, and then I played with it. I kind of tweaked it so there's like an X around his eye, and so I did a lot of that stuff and played with it and got it. Yeah, so it's I love it. I think it's a great story. Excuse me.
One of my other favorite characters has been Diabolique or Diabolique, the French, thief. So, and I noticed that a lot of people are trying to. I noticed that the owners of that tried to make a current resurgence of that too, with playing around in the same manner. So I think that this might be the time for stuff like this to be out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it was fun too to, I write so much stuff that takes place in the 30s and 40s. It was nice to have him go, oh, instead of a dead drop, he just uses a cell phone, or play with that. So yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you. And yeah, I'm going to be recommending that one to my friend and creator Ibrahim Mustafa. He's a huge spy guy, and I think he'll dig that. For now, I think before we get into maybe of your other projects, let's go for question number 2 to see what you get. What we got? Oh. Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I like this one. One of the best pieces of advice I ever received. And I wish I could remember who told it to me. I'm terrible that I don't remember who. But someone once told me that if I wanted writing to be my career, I had to treat it like a job. And by that they meant you go to your day job whenever, even if you don't feel like it, you go. You have to work 9 to 5, you work 9 to 5, whether you want to or not. And a lot of times as writers, we go, I don't feel like writing today, so we don't. I've taught myself, yeah, or any kind of creator, So I've trained myself that no, I have to work these hours every day.
Yeah.
If I'm not working, I'm either very sick or I've scheduled a day off.
Or like now, you still sick and still doing stuff.
Yes.
Oh man.
Yes, I haven't done a lot of work this week, but I have done a little bit. I have an event this weekend, so I've been promoting that. I did. I've been in bed mostly the last couple of days with this, but I woke up not Wednesday, or I guess Thursday morning at about 6 a.m. I couldn't get back to sleep, and sometimes I'll lay in bed and an idea pops into my head, or in this case, it was a piece of dialogue for an open project. So I sat up on the edge of the bed, and I picked up the phone, and I typed that piece of dialogue. Next thing I know, it's an hour later, and I'm still on the phone just typing away.
Oh man!
Because the characters just kept going. So I got a bit of work done. Then as soon as they stopped talking, I was like, great, it's 7 o'clock, I can go back to bed. It's like, yeah, my head is splitting. Stop talking. But stuff like that's wonderful. So sometimes when those ideas hit you, when the characters start talking to you, you listen. And, but treating it like a job. That means, because like any job, we have this thing where it's like, oh, this is my job. I don't feel like doing my job today. Once writing became my job, there are days where I would rather do anything than go to work. But I make myself go to work. And then once I'm there, I'm fine. It's just getting started. As writers, we like to look for excuses, There's this old joke about, I am a writer. Today, I am going to write. But first. And you can just fill in the blanks with whatever it is you're going to do to avoid writing.
Well, first, I'm going to have a blind jelly tasting contest.
Yeah. I've got to clean the office. Right. Oh, the laundry needs washed. Oh, I need to watch. I need to watch this thing on TV I didn't watch last night. Or you name it. We come up with the excuses, and I've had to train myself to sit down and work.
Well, I mean, based on your website, it looks like you did it.
I've trained myself to where when I come in, my office, my bedroom is across the hall.
Okay.
There's a hallway in the bathroom. My office is in one corner of my living room. So over there, that's where my TV is. I watch TV at night.
Okay.
Over there is the hoarder house of all the books and crap. The desk is here. This is kind of the cleaner corner of my office for podcasts and whatnot. So I work here, and then so I've trained myself that if I come through that door, I walk straight here.
Got it.
And sit down. And sometimes I do it on automatic without even thinking about it. And I come down and I sit down and I start working. And I'm like, I wasn't going to do this. I was going to do something else. And, so I've trained myself. I've had to get that kind of discipline to do that.
Okay. Well, good job, man. Keep at it.
Thank you.
Now tell me about Hunter Houston.
Hunter Houston. My buddy John Hartness has a book with. He's a writer. He's also the editor, the publisher at Falstaff Books.
Okay. He
has a character called Bubba the Monster Hunter, and he's done several books with Bubba. And then he does them in story arcs, and so there's a story arc where Bubba and his team disappear. Now, in the books, we know they go off to fairyland and they have an adventure. Okay. But here in the real world, all anybody knows is they have vanished, and everybody just assumes they're dead. So John went out and contacted a handful of authors, including me, to pitch replacement monster hunters.
Oh,
to pick up the slack. And
interesting.
Right, and so Bubba is the number one monster hunter in the South. Hunter Houston is the number 2 monster hunter in the South. And he likes being number 2 because when you're number 2, you don't have to work so hard.
Yeah. You don't get the phone calls.
Right. He handled small stuff, he wasn't handling into the world type problems.
Mm.
But now Bubba's gone. The people that would normally call Bubba are now calling him. And he is having to step up, handle bigger problems, and then, deal with those and find a way to prove to everybody that he's not a joke, that he can do this job.
That's a lot of pressure, though, too.
Yeah. And so like the Bubba stories, there's a lot of humor with the horror. And a lot of times it's from the setup. Like the Molten Menace, we discover that Stone Mountain, the big mountain in Georgia, is hollow, which in reality is one big giant rock, solid granite.
Right.
In this story, we find out it's actually a molten anthill, and that the hard part is just where it has, melted. And so these giant molten fire ants are living inside Stone Mountain. And there is a war going on between the various races of ants. The fire ants are the royals. The other types of ants are the ones trying to invade.
Okay.
And so around the time I started writing this, here in Georgia, we were having problems with sinkholes. There were just sinkholes happening everywhere. And so I tied that into the story that the war is causing all these sinkholes. And so Houston gets called to Stone Mountain because someone's pet has disappeared, and they're sure that there's a problem. And that's when he discovers that it's hollow, and he ends up inside the mountain fighting these massive giant fire ants about the size of Volkswagens.
Nope.
As you can see on that cover how big they are.
And that's why I chose this cover, because I don't know, bugs in general, I had a feeling, I was like, is that a fire ant? But why does it look like that? And so I wanted to make you tell me.
Yeah, because right there above my name, you can see him running. So that's Houston.
Yeah.
And so that to give you a definition of size. And so, and so he's down there. It's very hot, and he's helping the royals survive the attack. And the molten fire ants, they're called molten fire ants because if you've ever been bitten or stung by a fire ant, it's hot. Well, these guys are actually shooting like lava.
So you just keep making it worse, man.
Yeah. But that's half the fun. Yeah. So it's those kind of silly situations that we end up putting him in. And it's 4 novellas total. And then they're going to collect it as a collection of all 4 in one book. And that 4 should be out just later this year, the 4th one in the book. I just finished edits on the 4th one 2 or 3 weeks ago. So... Yeah, so it's Hunter Houston and the Molten Menace is book 1. Book 2 is Hunter Houston and the Midnight Man, which is a guy that gets into their dreams. And
that sounds awesome.
Number 3 is a ghost story called Hunter Houston and the True Believers.
Okay.
And the 4th one, we kind of play with the Cthulhu type stuff, where it's Hunter Houston and the Satan Seed.
Gonna be terrifying.
Yeah.
Those eldritch creatures, man, just
Yeah, so the Satan Seed is going to birth this new giant monster into existence, and it's Houston's job to stop it from happening. And Houston's just a guy. He's not a.
What?
I mean, he has no superpowers.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, he's just a guy. He's just a good old country boy from Georgia that's in way over his head. Now he's learned skills doing this.
Why are you like this, Bobby?
Yeah.
Why are you?
Because I like the idea of him getting beat up a lot.
Okay.
I do. I find I don't do it on purpose, at least that I think of. But my main characters get beat up a lot. And I noticed it when I just did a sequel to a book called Deadly Games. I did one called Deadly Deals. And the main character spends half the book being beaten.
Oh, you mean that one?
Yes. The main character, when I was going through edits, I realized that he is beaten within an inch of his life almost half the book.
Damn, son.
It's like that, and I promise you, I don't hate these characters. But,
I feel like, look, y'all, if you read Bobby's books, you be prepared for this. Just be prepared for what you've seen here. what you've
Oh,
heard here, and
uh, it's one of these things too. When I was doing the snow books, the first book came out, Snow Falls, and I was at a convention not long after it had come out, and so we were on a panel talking about characters, and they had asked the audience about characters that they love and all this kind of stuff. And sorry, my cough drop got stuck there. A lady in the audience said, "Oh, I love the character of Archer Snow, and I'll be very upset if anything happens to me." And I just wasn't paying any attention because all of a sudden it got very quiet, and I'm like, "Huh?" And everybody's looking at me, and I was like, "Oh, wait, that's my character." I assume nobody's read anything I've written. So, but she was like, and so from talking to people, I found out that Archer, which is Snow's grandfather, has become a fan favorite character. It's one of those. It's like, oh, please don't let anything happen to Archer. So the very next book I wrote, Archer is like in mortal jeopardy the entire book. I don't kill him; he comes out okay. But I made it a point. I made it a point to put him in mortal jeopardy throughout the book, and I know my readers are going, "That son of a." But yeah, so, and that's cool though. But that's, as writers or as creators, that's what we want.
Yeah,
we want to create a character or characters, excuse me, that the readers will fall in love with. Because if you think about it, when you read a book series or you watch a TV show or a movie series, you don't go and say, "Oh, I can't wait to read the sequel to Snow Falls." You go, "Oh, I can't wait to read the next Snow book."
right.
You don't go, "I can't wait to watch For Your Eyes Only." You go, "No, I can't wait for the next James Bond movie."
Right.
You fall in love with the characters, and so you want to keep coming back because those characters mean something to you.
That's how Supernatural stayed on the air for damn near 20 years.
Yes, you love those. So that way, even when you have a bad episode or you have a bad book, it happens. I'd like to think everything I write is gold, but I know better. So when you have one that doesn't work as well, the readers will still come back because they still love those characters.
Yeah. I mean, like we were saying earlier, like I've read a lot of Remo Williams. I didn't like every book, but I still want to see what Remo's up to.
Right, absolutely, yeah. And it's like you want to see those relationships. And I mean, there's a lot of movie series and novel series that have gotten a lot of mileage out of that. We kept watching Star Trek movies because we loved watching Kirk, Spock, McCoy, et cetera, et cetera. We kept watching Star Wars movies because we like Luke and Han and Leia. I have book series that I've read all of, like the Harry Bosch novels. I love them.
Oh, the Bosch stuff. Don't get me started, man.
Yeah, and so not all books are as great as the others, but even if it's a book that doesn't resonate with me as well as the one before did, it doesn't make me go, "Well, I'm done." No, I'm back next time to see what he's up to next, because I have fallen in love with that character.
Okay.
And so it's great, and it's never the characters you think it's going to happen to. When I started, I was convinced that Harold Palmer from Evil Ways was going to be my showcase character. And I've written him a couple of times, but he's not. More people come to me and talk about Snow or Sheriff Myers or Domino Lady or Lance Starr. Those are the ones people keep talking to me about more and more and more. And none of those I thought would be the characters.
That's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's not that I don't love those characters. It's just like in my head, those were not who I thought would be the thing that grabs people. And so it's really weird. And then, and it's a heady responsibility for me as a creator when I find out that people love those characters, because now I don't want to let them down, which it puts a little added pressure on us.
It's pressure, but it also offers some good perspective too, because then you have to start thinking about, well, what did I do there?
Right, right. What is it about these characters
that like really, that's funny.
yeah, so you do all that and you play around with those things, and so you try to make you know. And after a while, the characters, you get to know them. They're not characters to me anymore. Snow is a real person. Sheriff Myers is a real person, et cetera, et cetera. They're all real people to me.
Okay.
So when I do stuff with them, I talk to them like they're real people in my head. I'm not crazy. I know they're not really standing in front of me,
thank
but
you
I
for thank you for clarifying that.
but I will often go, okay, here's my plot idea. We need to get from here to here. How do we get there? And then I'll ask the character, what's the best way you want me to get there? Because every character
Mm.
responds to a different problem a different way. So if you take three characters that you know well from movies, TV, books, whatever, and you send those three characters into the same like simple plot, you will get three separate stories because how that character responds to the problem will be different because those characters are uniquely different. You know,
True.
Batman takes on things a whole lot differently than Superman does.
Yeah, absolutely.
So knowing your character helps you get there in a way that still feels true to the character. You don't want the readers to go, he would never do that. You know, you have to really be true to the characters and see how they're going to get you where they're going to get you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and trust them. I always tell people my characters are smarter than me. And that is sadly, that is no lie. They
Oh
are.
my God.
I can do things. I can write things that I'm not smart enough to write.
Well,
If
that's
that
where
makes sense.
research. That's where research comes in,
Yeah.
man.
And, well, and
Yeah.
trusting the characters too, because
Yeah.
the characters know what they're going to do. And then sometimes it's like, oh, I never would have thought of it that way, or which obviously in the back of my head I obviously did because my
Exactly.
characters live in here. But like I wrote a short story years ago. It was a media tie-in thing. We were doing stories based on an old radio show called Nightbeat. And the
Mm.
conceit of Nightbeat was the reporter walked the streets of Chicago at night. He got into trouble. And that was the story he wrote about. And so I wrote this very simple story. He meets this old girlfriend. She had married a mobster, had a kid. She
Uh,
was trying to leave the mobster, her and her kid. He has agreed to help her. Someone tries to kill her, so now he's like really wants to help her.
yeah.
I'm almost at the end of the story. I'm in the final act. And the hero and the villain are face to face for the first time, the hero and the mobster. And as I'm typing dialogue, the mobster says something that made me, Bobby the writer, go, wait, you're not the bad guy. And then at
Ooh.
that point, the bad guy spoke up. And I was like, oh, that is so much of a better twist than I had. So I finished writing it. And then I was
Hmm.
like, okay, I need to make sure that doesn't come out of anywhere because I like to play fair. If
Okay.
I'm writing a mystery or there's a twist, it needs to be somewhere where the reader can pick up on it.
Okay.
So I go back and I reread it to put in the clues. And I had this amazing surprise that the clues were already there. The character had been dropping the clues through dialogue. I just hadn't put two and two together yet until consciously. Obviously, in the back of my mind, obviously there was something going on.
That's
But
weird as fuck, Bobby,
yeah,
but also cool as shit.
yeah,
That's,
and that's happened to me a few times where something will happen where a character will say something, and I go, "Wait a minute, what?" Uh, and then I'll go back and go, "You know what? That's brilliant. Let's go make sure that works." Because, like I said, they're smarter than me. They know things. They just haven't felt the need to tell me them yet.
that's interesting.
And sometimes, so sometimes talking to the characters will do that as we go along, and they will reveal stuff to me that I didn't know going in.
Word up.
Yes, we are
Okay.
crazy people, writers. Uh,
Damn. Okay.
so, but
Thank
it's
you for
part.
that
But
insight. That's
yeah,
that's really interesting.
it's one of the cool things about the job is those surprises. You know, because if I'm not surprised, then
Oh
who
yeah.
else
Then the
can be
readers is
surprised?
just gonna be like, you know.
Yeah. So I try to write it in a way that'll make sense, I like to play fair with my readers too. If it's a, I hate reading a book or watching a TV show, and you're there at the end, and they're there across from the killer, and they say, "Oh yes, while you've been here, we've done a search warrant on your house, and we found this." Okay, as a reader or a viewer, I didn't see that, so the odds of me solving this problem, solving this mystery, are nil, because the one important piece you didn't give me until later. So I like to go in, and if it's a clue that leads to that problem being solved or the killer's identity, I want to put it in there, because I want my readers to come and go, "I figured it out." Or what? But what often happens is, especially Evil Ways, often happens is they come up and go, "Wait, I thought it was this person because they did this," and then we can have a discussion, and I can go, "Yes, but do you remember when this happened?" And they're like, "Oh, I missed that." So now it's,
okay.
I want it to be one of these things where the reader can figure it out. And it's hard because as the writer, I know it's a clue. So in my head, as I'm writing the clue, there's a neon sign pointing at it going, "This is a clue. This is the killer." So,
Right. I mean,
so
it does have to be done in a nice manner, though.
yeah.
Let me give you an example of something I saw on TV that like really soured me. I'm not going to say what show it is, but basically the setup is that this woman is confronting her abuser slash a friend of hers who's also turned out to be a liar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're both trapped. It's a one room scene because they're trapped in a snowstorm, and they
Okay.
decide to pass the time that they're gonna play Scrabble. So as they're doing this, the lady who's obviously the guilty party starts to get nervous. Like, "I gotta get out of here." She's like, "Well, the snow's let up. I should get out of here. Maybe the roads are clear." And then the other woman goes, "Well, before you go, I think I have one more word I can play on the Scrabble board, and the word is traitor."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Are you telling me that in Scrabble, this lady was able to get the letters to spell
Right.
traitor?" I was like, "No, I'm done." I just turned
Yes.
it
Yeah.
off.
Sometimes you have to. Yeah. Sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes you give it to them too easy.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want everything to be. I want it to be there to where you can figure it out. I want people to go, "Oh, that's what that meant,"
Yeah.
or
Exactly.
it's. I like playing fair. I don't. I don't like that whole, "Oh yeah, the one clue that leads to you, this person. Yeah, we're not going to show you that. We'll tell you that later. We found it." And I was like, that's not fair. I want the readers to go, "Nope, I figured it out." You know.
Exactly. Yo, you know what? Dang, I forgot. We gotta spin the wheel, man.
Spin, spin, spin.
Here we go. Let's get back into. I think this is like the third one, right? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Sorry, I can get chatty.
No, it's all good. It's all good. All right. Favorite human body parts? Oh.
Are we talking about defining the woods, or like on a person when they're alive?
Oh, oh my God. On a person when they're alive.
Ah, okay. I'm a bit of a leg man myself. I like a good pair of legs.
Yeah. Any particular, like, is it a calf thing, thigh thing?
I'm not really sure. It's just legs in general. I like a good set of legs.
That's what's up, man. I can dig that.
Yeah. But as a guy who writes suspense and mystery thrillers, I do quite often find body parts.
Okay, so yeah, so then what would be your favorite part to put in your stories that somebody would find then?
Oh, you want to make it. You don't want to make it too easy, so you put like a foot or a knee, or there's a way they can still figure out who it is, but it takes more work. So if it's a hand, there are no fingerprints. So how do you figure it out with no fingerprints, or that kind of stuff?
Right.
If it's a knee, it's like, "Oh wait, there's a pin in their knee. We can track that," or yeah. So sometimes playing with parts like that.
Okay.
I don't hide body parts a lot, but I have done that a time or two. My brother, years ago, my brother used to tell people that I murdered people for a living, and he would not elaborate.
I
And
mean,
so I had
I
I had a young cousin who was maybe 8 or 9 at the time, who I noticed stopped coming around me
oh
because she
Lord,
believed him.
oh my
And so
God,
I explained to her, I write these in the book, so I plan murders in books and books only. So
that's
then
so terrible.
then later I found out my brother went back to her and says, yeah, he writes them in his books, but he practices them for real.
Oh, come on, man.
And so he would tell people these things. So, but I've jokingly, I've taken it and I use it in a sales pitch when I'm doing conventions and I've got my big rack of books and, and I'm telling people because there's too much to go. Well, in this book, and you just kind of give them a
Yeah.
generic overview, and it's like, I do a lot of mystery thrillers and horror books and stuff like that. I love killing people. I kill a lot of people. That's the reaction I get 99% of the time. And a lot of times it's like, ooh, I like that, and they'll pick up a book. So yes, people love, don't kill animals, but if you kill people, no problem.
Okay.
One lady I knew read my first novel after it came out, and she came up to me after she had read it. She goes, you're a little creepy to me right now. And I was like, I'll take that as a compliment.
Actually, yeah, I said the same thing to one of my friends one time that he had to draw a comic series, and it was one of the most violent things I'd ever seen. And I was just like, "Hey, man, you okay?" Because
Yeah,
he
and then
drew it too well.
people are like, where did that come from? And I was like,
Yeah.
it was in there. uh, you know, as creators, we are often killing off people that have annoyed us.
Mm.
I've killed off avatars of people that have irritated me. Not them directly, but I have killed off people that if you know who that person is. But now I have people come to me and say, "Can I die in one of your books?"
I've actually died. Something a lot of people don't know, but I've died in a book. I was decapitated actually.
Yeah.
In The Mask, in the Dark
Oh,
Horse
very
comic,
nice.
The
Okay.
Mask, Pledge of Allegiance. I got decapitated by the mask, and I don't mean like the mask. Like the mask flew through the air
Yeah.
and sliced through my neck.
I've appeared in a few comics, but probably my favorite, George Perez drew me in an issue of Crimson
Ooh.
Plague.
Whoa!
And I am taking photos of dead, decomposing bodies. I was supposed to die, but we never got to that issue, so I missed out getting killed. But
Damn.
and I knew George for years, so it was great fun. I'm on the poster, but I'm in the book. It's for like 2 pages. I'm photographing, rotting corpses. That was fun, and I've died a lot in books. Other writers have killed me off a few times. We did this one anthology. It was a charity anthology. I used to co-host a podcast called Earth Station One.
Okay.
And so we decided to do an Earth Station One anthology of stories. And it didn't have to be about that, but it was sci-fi stories. That we would sell it, and all the money would raise money for charity.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and so, but a lot of the writers that they got people that were involved with the show because they had several shows on the network and all that. A lot of people took it to mean, well, we'll use characters from the show, and I think in four of the stories, I got violently murdered, like by name, So yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Good Lord, man.
My friends love me. What can I say?
I got one more title of yours that I want to pull up because it seemed vastly different from a lot of your other stuff, and that's this Paladins book.
Yeah,
which
Paladins is it's a pulpy style set in I believe it's 1939 when it's set.
Okay.
I didn't actually come up with the concept. The publisher contacted me, and two of the characters are company-owned characters.
Okay.
And then they wanted to use some like public domain pulp characters around it. Another writer had started and for some reason left the project. And so the publisher called me and says, "Hey, would you like to excuse me, would you like to do this?" And because I write Domino Lady, who's the lady there, the blonde
right there, yeah,
I write her frequently for this publisher. He was like, "Put her in there." So I added Domino Lady and the short black haired lady, Nellie Quai. I
Okay.
added the two of them to that way everybody's paired up. There's groups of twos of all of them before they come together. And so there was a loose plot. Like I didn't copy what the other writer had done, but there was a loose plot, and I kind of followed a lot of that, and then took it in my own direction from there. The reason there are 3 covers here, there is a paperback, there's a hardcover, and then there's a deluxe hardcover that's got interior illustrations as well.
Okay.
So I haven't actually held one in my hand yet. It's
Oh.
that new. Yes, I'm hoping the publisher will get me some in time for Dragon Con, but I have not actually held one in my hand yet.
All right.
But,
well, I'll be looking on the lookout for that when
you.
you get one. I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, but it's excuse me, but it's like a pulpy thriller adventure. There's a supernatural element. There's Nazis. It's 1939. There's Nazi villains.
That makes sense.
There's all kinds of stuff like that going on. So we start out, with the 3 different groups. Stuff happens and they end up coming together, and then the 3. So you got like 3 different stories going along, and then they connect together, and so it was fun. I had a blast doing it. It was a lot of fun. I knew most of the characters. So there were a couple I didn't know very well, so there was some research, and so it was fun. I had a blast doing it. Moonstone, the publisher, I've worked for them several times. They're always fun to work for. So
that's really cool. Okay, I know Moonstone actually. Yeah, I'm very familiar with them.
And then Jay Piscopo did the cover art, and I've worked with Jay before as well. And so yeah, it was fun. It was a nice throwback. It's but it's one of those things that was like, it wasn't my idea. It was like, hey, we want you to write this, or can you do it? And I'm like, sure.
I mean, that's still fun, and it's still it taps a different branch of your creative juices.
Yeah, and sometimes you get to play with stuff like that. It's a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I'm playing in this sandbox. Great. Okay. I don't typically write this kind of, or whatever. I'll get to play with the supernatural elements and all that stuff. And so it was fun. I had a blast doing it. It was fun.
That's what's up.
It was a quick turnaround, but yeah, it was quick.
Well, I mean, I hope it's a quick turnaround for you to get one in your hands.
I hope so too.
We're running out of time, so I want to make sure I cover some other things because I've got some questions for you. So we'll go back to the wheel in a second, but I did notice, actually, let me pull this back down because I had a question for you. You're doing all this stuff, you're busy and all that. Is that a Galactus popcorn bucket behind you?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
A friend of mine sent that to me.
Nice.
It looks like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a Deep Space Nine space station right next to it.
I have that one.
Yeah,
so that was my next question.
It kind of looks like Galactus is about to eat Deep Space Nine.
Which could happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the one here, that's a Domino Lady action figure that they
produced.
Dude. My publisher sent it to me for all the work I've done. I've written more Domino Lady than anybody.
Okay.
So they sent that to me as like a bonus, which was very nice of them.
Okay. That's really cool. I mean, well, that does lead me to my question, though. It's like, I see you've got stuff behind you. Like, obviously you're working a lot, but what do you do when you're not working, man? Like, do you have fun? How do you chill?
Sure. I mean, I go out and hang with friends. I have dinners with friends, or go to the movies, or watch TV, or read books. I do all that stuff. Okay. My dad and I travel quite a bit together. We take road trips and just spend the day. We started that during COVID, where we would just drive. You wouldn't go anywhere, but you would just be gone for 5 or 6 hours, just riding around. And so we ended up in places we had never been before, and so we had just a good time driving and getting out. And we jokingly, that
sounds pretty cool.
As we were doing it, we're talking, and I'm telling my dad about the books I'm working on, and I mentioned one time, hey, that would be a great place to find a body. And so I'd take pictures. So it became this running joke of like, hey, I bet you could bury a body right over there, and it would be really cool. But these are the things we talk about. Yes. How did they get the body in there? What did they, Yes. So stuff like that is fun. Sometimes sometimes you see a location and go, I'm setting a story here.
Bobby, you better not ever do anything wrong, dog. You better not ever really do anything wrong.
But it's fun. It's good. You got to have fun doing what you do.
Yeah.
I could go nuts because I work alone by myself in this office. You know,
Yeah.
It's usually me in an empty room. I do play some music while I work that kind of fades into the background, but
Okay.
it's just me alone all day long. And
Well, how do you maintain your sanity, though? Do you have like mental health practices or anything?
that depends on who you ask. There are some who may say I have not maintained my sanity.
Okay.
I don't know. I guess I'm fairly well rounded. I don't know. I mean, I do take breaks.
Okay.
I do take care of my father, so that does,
Okay.
you know, and I do hang out with friends, but when I do stuff where I'm around other people, like I mentioned, I can ramble. I don't get I've talked more today than I've talked all week.
Okay.
Just because I'm here alone, and I try not to talk out loud to my characters because then people think I'm crazy. But
Yeah,
so
that might be your problem.
yeah, but I do try to take breaks. Anyway, like I said, my dad and I get out. We go have lunch. We'll go sit at the lake. We'll eat our lunch. Or I'll go. I got some buddies that's like, hey, we're gonna go. This new movie's coming out. Let's go see that and grab dinner and things
Nice.
like that. So there's things I do to. Yes, I mean, and I try to make sure I get at least 5 or 6 hours of sleep a night. More if I can, less if but I try to get some sleep every night. I don't exercise near as much as I should, but I try. So I like getting out. I do a lot of events.
Yeah.
I am
Which we're
somewhat,
going to talk about in a second.
yeah,
We're going to talk about something else that people don't know about you.
yeah, and so that's kind of nice too. It's you're out. You get to meet people. You get to talk to people who've not heard all my stories.
Yeah.
So hang on a second. I got to blow my nose one more time.
Do your thing, man.
Sorry, trying to be good and mute it.
No. Do you have water, Bobby?
I just emptied it, but I got a little bit left in here, so I'm still good.
Okay, just checking.
I got that, and I got my cough drops. I'm good to go.
All right.
Worst comes to worst, I got a big bottle of honey right here.
Oh my.
Although I don't think I want to chug that.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if that's a good idea, man.
It's good when my sinuses get like this. I tend to get cracky because they drain.
Yeah.
So honey and lemon juice helps with that. So
Oh, okay. That's what's up. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We've got 2 more questions left, technically, so
Okay.
we're going to get to those. But I'm going to spend for now, and then after this question, I want to talk to you and my audience about something they don't know about you. So let's just
Okay.
go ahead and go with this. There might be some typos on this wheel, but, we'll get through it.
I'm a writer. Typos and I are old friends.
Oh, you got this one. One bad habit, sir.
Bad habits. Just one.
Just one. Just one.
Oh, that's a good. I do. According to my doctor, I drink too much sodas and stuff. That's an easy answer. So I'm going to give you a.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a more entertaining answer. I can sometimes be a pain in the ass.
What do you mean?
I am not above arguing if I think I'm right on something. I am not above, Now, you prove me wrong, I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong.
Okay, good. Good to know.
But I will argue if I have to. I try not to do it often, but I can be a little stubborn and.
Wait. Okay, so arguing is one thing, but are you a well actually guy?
I try not to be.
Okay.
I have said the words before, but I try not to.
Okay.
But yeah, sometimes I have taught myself how to just let it go.
Okay.
Especially at events, there will be people who come up to my table and they're telling me something that I know is absolutely not true, and I'm just like, okay, and let it go.
Yeah. Well, because sometimes it happens that you're so dumbfounded by what they believe that you just don't know what to say.
Right. And sometimes it's like, how can you be a writer and not understand the business that you're in?
Oh, dude.
That's what you're saying is
Don't get me
absolutely
started.
false. You can't do that, or I've gone into like comic shops in the past where
Oh no.
I'm just in there shopping and I hear people talking about creators I know,
Mm-hmm.
and they're saying shit that I know is absolutely not true.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that wants to go, but then there's the other part of me that goes, just let it go.
Yeah, I run into that a lot actually. You know.
Yeah, I tend not to. I don't typically go into a place, especially if I've never been there before. Like I don't walk into a comic shop or a bookstore and go, "Hi, I'm a writer." You know, I tend not to do that.
No,
If it
I
comes
don't
up,
know. I don't know anybody who does do that unless
yeah,
they actually recognize you,
yeah.
like
I
right
mean,
away and go,
sometimes
"That's they do." I'm sure they
yeah,
recognize you, but like,
that has happened. Yes, I have gotten recognized before, and that's cool. Because I think I might have said it before, but I work alone. I
right?
assume no one knows who I am. I'm assuming no one's read anything I've written. I just I just assume I'm eminently forgettable.
Mm-hmm.
So when that does happen, it is quite awesome. I had someone come up to me at a convention a couple weeks ago and was like, "I met you at blah 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 event," and okay, I don't remember, but cool, because I meet a lot of people and sometimes
Yeah,
I
that's
forget.
fair.
But plus, they have an advantage. My name's all over the table. So,
It's cheating.
yeah. And so, but it's like, I met you at such and such event. And I read these and I'm like, oh, I hope you enjoyed them and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah. So what's new since then? And so I pointed out the new stuff. And he's like, great. I want these two. Or there are
Okay.
people at Dragon Con every year that I only see them once a year. And
Yeah.
they come by my table and what's new since last year? Great. I'll take them.
Okay.
So that's always great when someone knows who you are, or you know I had a funny one. For one time a publisher paid me with a check, and so I was like, god, I gotta go to the post
Like
to the bank.
recently?
No, it's been a few years,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I get a check. I mean, I still get checks from some of them. There's one or two that still send me checks in the mail, so I go,
Okay.
but now I
That's
just go to the
interesting.
ATM and you can deposit checks through the ATM, but I
Yeah.
couldn't do that in this instance. So I went in and I have to tell her, and I give her the check, and I give her my ID and all this stuff. And it's got a publisher's name on who it's from, the check is from. And she
Yeah.
looks at it and she goes, "Bobby Nash, are you any relation to the writer?" It's like, yeah, we've met. Um, so that kind of stuff does happen. Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Oh, wait, yes, or I met you. I get that a lot. I met you at these. There's a few that are like, wait, I saw you in a movie. That happens less frequently, but it still happens. But yeah, I met you at a convention, or I saw you on stuff like this, like a video blog or panel or
Yeah.
podcast, or so that helps. People is like, oh, I heard you here. A buddy of mine and I, we were at a convention. We were there the day before the convention started, and we'd gone and we were having dinner in the food court, and we're just chit chatting and hanging out. And this guy comes over and he says, I'm sorry to bother you guys, but you two sound so familiar.
Hmm.
Do you guys do a podcast by any chance? And so we're like, yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, we do. And it's like, oh, we're part of the Interstation One podcast. And he's like, oh my God. And he knew our names.
Wow.
So that was cool. It is nice to know that you do stuff that people respond to, that they recognize or they enjoy. And I'm sure you get that. You get people who come up to you and, hey, I
Yeah.
love the podcast, or I listen to this, or it's a wonderful feeling because, like I said, I assume I'm here by myself. I'm assuming no one knows who I am. I guess that helps keep the ego in check.
It
But
does, but I think a lot more people know who you are than you think.
sure, and the really weird ones is when people that I grew up reading, I read their books. I've
Mm.
gotten to know some of them. Um, that's weird. Like they don't look at me as like a little kid fanboy. I mean, I'm a peer. They treat me like a peer,
Yeah.
and that's wonderful. It's an awesome feeling. But then there's that part of me. It's like I read their books when I was in high school. I try not to tell them that because then they start going, but
Right. Yeah.
because high school was a long time ago. But that's really cool that people who you admired their work now know who you are, and they talk to you and they treat you like a peer, and that's a wonderful feeling. I love
It
that.
is.
And I try to do that to other people. I hopefully succeed at it, but I try not to. Early in my career, I started watching, because I started in comics, so I was doing a lot of conventions, and I would watch creators at conventions who I admired, and I would see how they treated people.
Yeah.
Guys like George Perez or Darwin Cook or some of those guys. How did they interact with people? How did they talk to people? He was not a writer, but one of the best actor interactions I ever had was with Avery Brooks.
Really?
For 5 minutes, we were at DragonCon. I ran through, because I had my table and I was coming back from a panel, so I ran through just to see what I could see, and Cisco is my captain, my Star Trek captain. I am a huge Deep Space Nine fan.
Me too.
And I was like, and he didn't, at that time, he didn't do cons. This was not so I will kick myself if I don't go see if he's in there. So I go in. There were like 3 people ahead of me. I waited in line. I went up. For 5 minutes, he treated me like I was the only person in that room.
Wow.
He was absolutely happy that I was there. He talked to me like a person. It wasn't, because I've seen some who was like, you want this? Great, $30. Here you go. He treated me with so much respect. Saw that I had a guest badge on, asked me what I did. So it was a wonderful conversation. Like I said, for 5 minutes, he treated me like I was the only person in a room that had a couple thousand people in it.
That's fantastic.
And those are the kind of things I think of when I'm doing events or when I'm doing conventions. I want people to meet me and get that same kind of feeling. It's like he talked to me like I was there, and it's not always easy. But
no, I've met some people. Bobby.
There are some you do have to finally go, look, I gotta do some stuff. But still, you still do it in a friendly, polite, professional way. And that's why I learn a lot from watching, not only what to do, but what not to do. I've seen some people that I was like, I never want to be that guy. I don't ever want to treat people that way. Or so those are the kind of things you kind of pick up as you're going. And how do I want to be treated?
I've definitely said I don't want to be that guy, referring to both sides of the table.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
because I think about that when even though I'm a guest at a con, if I'm walking around
exactly
and go up to somebody's table, I'm respectful of what they're doing.
Yeah, even with my friends, I'm like, as soon as I see somebody else come up behind me that's a potential customer, I get the hell out the way.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got some business, I'll check in with you later. Or
exactly.
Step over here out of the way. Or so there's a lot of that comes with doing it, and you just kind of have to. And I made it a point early on. I remember before I sold Evil Ways, I had got the contract, and it was the week before DragonCon. So I took the contract with me to DragonCon, because DragonCon has a lot of authors. And I went to several authors and asked for advice. Excuse me. And I got some good advice. But I also got a couple of go-away kids to bug me. There was one guy who said, why should I help you? You'd be my competition. And I made it a point, and I won't mention names, but I made it a point at that time in my life that if anyone ever asked me a question, if I know the answer, I'll answer it. Now, sometimes the answer is, I don't know or I can't help you. But I always make it a point to respond. Right. And that came out of watching and, because I know how it made me feel when somebody shrugged me off, So I try to make sure that I treat people the way I want to be treated when it comes to that.
Okay. No, and I appreciate that because, that's a terrible response.
And like I said, it's a small minority that does that.
Yeah.
Of people.
Yeah, I haven't run into that myself in a while, but I have run into that before. But for the most part,
most people are absolutely wonderful to talk to.
Oh yeah, Like here's what I went through. Here's the advice. You know.
Yeah.
I want to move into something that Slack Pack. I want you to pay special attention to this because this is something I learned about Bobby today. Like I knew him from his writing and like podcast and novellas and all this stuff. But I'm gonna show you this, and apparently Bobby somehow finds time to like let me remove this to do shit like this. So
You don't find time. You have to make time.
okay, so to be clear, if you guys look at this picture and look on the left in the red shirt, that's our man Bobby.
Yes. I worked on Dumb and Dumber 2 for 2 weeks. I am in the movie for about how long it takes for this scene to happen. Worked on this scene for 3 days. It stars Jason Bateman, who also directed it,
Yeah.
and Ben Mendelsohn from Star Wars and various other things.
Yeah, I saw this series too.
Yes, so I worked on this. I've been directed by Jason Bateman about 3 times now. I worked on Ozark a few times, and he's a wonderful, wonderful director. Has a great set. The beauty of this particular project, where we filmed, is 5 minutes from my house.
Okay.
Which worked in my favor. But we shot this over 3 days.
Okay.
And so the gentleman steps out of the crowd, and I yell, "He's got a gun!" And as you can see, I'm kind of, Now the reason I'm in that pose because my right arm is going to go around the lady in purple there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I put my arm around her and help. We rush. We rush like I block her, her body with mine.
Okay.
And we run over toward that tree. So on day one, and I'm amazed how beautifully this scene looks because we worked on it for 3 days and did not have the same weather 3 days in a row. One day it was raining, one day it was sunshine, one day it was very cloudy. And they made it look seamless. But it worked. Being so close, I rarely work on stuff close to home. It's so rare. Because I don't live in the city. I live a good 50 miles east of Atlanta.
Okay.
But they were filming this close to home, which worked in my favor because when I'm filming this on day one, I think about the 5th or 6th time we did it, it had been raining. And when we get to the tree, it's a hill. And this is downtown Winder, Georgia. So there are cars. That's a street right behind us. It's an active. They were stopping people long enough for us to shoot, but then they, Well, anyways, we get to the tree, and 1 foot goes in one direction, 1 foot goes in the other.
Oh no!
And I end up at the bottom of the hill, ripped my pants just completely. And she's like, "Well, I guess you're done." I was like, "I have another pair just like this at home." She's like, "Hurry back." So I got to run home and get them. Normally, I'm an hour, 2 hours away from home when I film.
Right.
So, yeah. So I don't know which day this particular one was because, like I said, we did it 3 days. But yeah, he comes out. The shooter comes out, starts like shooting at the cops and the witness and all the people they think is the killer and all this stuff. And Ben Mendelsohn drops to one knee and shoots the guy right in the head.
Damn.
And so he dies. We get to see. So I got to watch it. A lot of what's fun is doing these. It's almost like going to film school. I got to watch how they made his head explode. And because we filmed this over 3 days so many times, they then had to clean it up every time.
Oh.
Because there are also overhead drone shots of the walkway and blah, blah, blah. But what you can't see in this image, there is a guy laying on the ground by his feet with two wires. And when Ben Mendelsohn drops to his knees and you hear the cap go off, because he's firing like a blank, pop, that guy touches the two wires together and there is a pipe that runs up his pants, up the back of his jacket, up behind his head into his cap, and they've cut a hole in it so it'll break away. And so there's an air ram in his pants, and that guy touches the two wires together, the air shoots up, and the blood packs that they've got and the brain packs that they've got inside his hat and the tube up by his head explode outward. It's fascinating to watch. It was absolutely fascinating to watch. So yeah,
Oh
so that
man.
one was, you know, and I love that whole, you know, shot of me, you know.
You know I'm gonna take this and Photoshop it, right?
Be my guest.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna put you like in a breakdance floor and something like that. I got a couple more that I want to show y'all, Slackback. And
this is from episode 2 of Doom Patrol.
That's you in the back there with the sunglasses with the suit jacket on.
Yep. I don't have lines or anything, but I am playing a federal agent. Because, you know, if you've seen the show, there's a government agent that keeps track of superpowered people.
Right.
I'm one of them. I'm the only person there in a suit. And so my job, I'm supposed to be acting like I'm trying to just get on a bus. But usually they're like, don't stare at the actor. I was given the opposite advice. Keep an eye on it.
Oh, okay.
I'm always watching him. And so to see where he is and what he's doing. And so, but I'm only in the background of that. I mean, it wasn't a big role or anything. My second appearance on Doom Patrol was a little bigger.
Hold on. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about, the contrast here. So look at this, y'all.
Yes, that was me clean shaven. I think I might have had a little bit of a goatee. But then I'm this. That's me in the yellow hat. I had done another role and I needed a beard. I had never grown a full beard before, so I grew a beard. And for that other project, it was a very motley beard. It wasn't like it is here. But I'd never grown a full beard before. So when it was done, I just let it grow to see what it would look like. And so that ended up being this. And I'm one of the Dannysons, which if you've watched the Doom Patrol, Danny the Street is this mystical, in one episode, it's a street. In this one, Danny's been injured and has manifested itself as a brick. And the brick has been broken. And so the best way to reconstitute Danny is to throw a party. The party, the energy will reconstitute Danny. And at the end, you know, Danny comes back as a tire, you know, and we right after this particular shot, we lay our hands on Danny and we all disappear in like a sparkly haze into the atmosphere, which is so much fun. But so they put me in this, and it's hard to see here, but I'm in like all this black and gold outfit with a vest.
Which you just got from your closet, right?
No, this was all they gave me all of this. Yes, none of the clothes I brought they used. They gave me this. You can't see it for the hat, but like I'm wearing like my face is gold. Like it's painted gold. And there are emeralds and gems and whatnot glued to my face. And then the hat sells it. So Matt, the actor who plays Robot Man, kept referring to me as Disco George. So yes, I became Disco George through like the 3 days I worked on this. So we basically had a 3-day party that they paid us to come to.
Man, first of all, I love the Danny Street episodes in general, and that sounds amazing because was like the way it was filmed even was one of my favorites, and then just all of the characters and seeing you there, like, it's really cool, man.
I spent most of my time with Negative Man and Robot Man and Flex Ventalo.
Okay.
Those are who I spent most of my time with. I was there when the chief's daughter flies up and hangs the mirror ball. I get to watch that.
Yeah.
I did get to meet my first James Bond. I did meet Timothy Dalton.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
That was really cool. he was very nice. Most of the time, what happens is you don't have big, long conversations. They just come up, they might say hi. It's always don't talk to them unless they talk to you because you don't know what they're doing. And he said hello. I've got a few of those where it's just, oh, we said hello. You know, Clint Eastwood growled at me once. You know, I'm in a scene with Kevin Bacon, so I win that game all the time.
Yay!
Kind of, yeah, I meet people and they're like, oh yeah, I'm in the same movie with Kevin Bacon, and I hold up and go, hey, I'm in the same scene with Kevin Bacon. Like, I win. I was in there was this show, The Following. I was in the first episode.
I love The Following. Why are you in all the stuff that I've been watching?
Yeah. Most of my stuff got cut, but I'm there. That's the only scene you really see me in. It's kind of blurry, but I'm okay. And then they only filmed the pilot here in Georgia. Everything else was filmed in New York, and but it was awesome. It was a great experience, and so stuff like that's fun. I just do it every once in a while. Usually, if there's free time, or sometimes I'll get a call and say, hey, we need somebody for this, and you'd be good for it. Or it's like, hey, I've got a little free time. What are they looking for this week or next week? Okay. So I'll do some of that, and so I get to. It's fun to go play, and I'm like I said, it's more of a side gig, like a little, something I do for fun here and there.
Something he does for fun.
Yeah, and
I've done all of the other work he does.
Yeah. Well, you asked about hobbies. I guess this qualifies. The problem is all my hobbies keep becoming work. I draw, same thing. I draw for fun. Yeah. Then all of a sudden people are like, hey, are those for sale? I'm like, they are now. But yeah, so I do, those are fun. I've done a couple of indie movies where I have lines and stuff like that. I did a horror movie. I did like an 80s buddy cop comedy, and the sequel. So can people
find that stuff on your website too?
Yeah, there's a film section. There's a film tab. You can go in there and scroll through it. I've also written a few like fan films. I met some of these guys at cons that were doing Star Trek fan films, where like they had built sets. And so I wrote some Star Trek fan films for them. Like there was one of them. We filmed that one there, Recess. We filmed it at a convention we were all at. And so we're like, can we do something we can film at the convention since we're all here? And so I wrote this little 10-minute thing, and they're all free on YouTube, Nice. But there's a lot of them. Yeah, so I've written several of those. Usually it's just around when I have breaks in my schedule. That's awesome. So when I get breaks in my schedule, instead of relaxing, I write something else.
Look at him.
Yeah, that was a John Travolta movie called Mobland.
Mobland, yeah.
Yep, I played a fry cook. That's all I did. I cooked some food. Yep, he ate some of my food. It's like, man, I wouldn't. And so that was the bad guy. His name is
man, I wouldn't.
Oh, I'm just blanking on his name. Stephen Dorff, thank you. But Stephen
Dorff, yeah.
Yeah, usually you don't get photos and stuff like this, but it was just me. I was the only person in that scene. And he came back and he said, I heard there's food. So we did food. I gave him some food. He met the owner of the restaurant we were in. Because they were paying the owner for the space, the owner couldn't play the fry cook. There's some rules or something. So he took a picture with the owner, and he was like, you want one too? I'm like, absolutely. And so, Creep Show, more with the beard. I got to play a Santa. I got that gig because I had the beard, more than anything else. I'd also done a Creep Show the season before. There's a Creep Show episode where Paul Dini wrote it, and it was
cool.
They find these like slugs that eat human fat, and it's become this weight loss program. And so I am the Mr. Simmons before. So I go in and I'm there on the couch with Dana Gould and I forget the lady's name. She was next, and she was in a fat suit because she's going to lose weight and she's going to play both sides.
Okay.
I played before, so I get up and they bring me in after I've talked to Dana Gould for a bit, and I go inside and they're giving more info on this thing. And then another guy comes out wearing my clothes, my glasses. They've made our hair look alike. And he's the after, which convinces them all that it works. And then, of course, being creep show, there's a problem where we all die.
Of course you do.
So, but you don't see me die. You just gotta know. Yeah.
Mm.
So stuff like that's
Okay.
fun. I got to, so I've done stuff like that. It's, here and there. I don't do it as often as I would like. But it's fun.
That's cool though. I think that's pretty rad. Well, it's time for the last spin question.
Let's see what we get. Let's get a good one. I feel like I should be yelling, "Big money, big money, big money."
Oh, this is one of my newer questions. All right, so aliens have finally arrived to Earth, but have not stated their intentions. Are you immediately going out to greet them?
Yes, I'm going to go out and say, "Dude, run." Trust me.
Like, you don't want to be here.
Yeah, dude. I think you made a wrong turn at Albuquerque. You need to go. Trust me. Go.
There's nothing for you here.
Take me with you.
Oh man.
Yeah, because man, if you think about it, if that ever happens, we're gonna kill them.
Yep. You're not wrong.
Aliens could arrive with and be the sweetest, kindest aliens that would offer us everything we ever needed, like eternal life, good health. We would kill them. Absolutely, no doubt in my mind, the human race would kill them.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I mean, and even if they came with hostile intentions, right? Like, this would be a waste of their time. Like, we're gonna do it for them. So, like,
yeah. You know what? I'm convinced that if Jesus came back today, we would kill him too.
Probably. Absolutely.
Because and oddly enough, probably the people that most profess to love and follow him would be at the front of the line.
Yep.
But it's just we as a people are just, as a people and as a whole, are not good people. We tend to do things. Yeah,
I'm in agreement, y'all, and that's a new question on the wheel for me. And he's the first person to get it, but that is exactly pretty much how I would answer it.
Yeah, run silent, run deep, run fast.
Well, you made it. Okay, so you made it to the last question. You did
it.
And so before we go, Slack Pack, I just want to just clarify a few things. First, we are all going to collectively thank Bobby in our comments about being here and sharing all of these wonderful stories, right? Looking at you. Second, his website. I didn't even get to cover nearly everything that's on there. So that link to his site is going to go in the description, as well as all of the places that you should be following him and keeping up with his work, his books. And then, you know what? From now on, we just got to keep an eye out to see if he pops up in shows and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a lot of new stuff coming out. If you're going to be at Dragon Con, I'm going to put that information in the description as well. So make sure to look for him there. Go pick up some of his books, get some stuff signed, and just give him a hug for me if you see him in person. I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Anything you want to tell people before we get out of here, Bobby?
Nothing that springs to mind. I've had a great time. Thank you so much. I'm glad my voice held out. I was getting a little worried there.
You did it, man.
I've been chewing cough drops and water like crazy, so
okay,
it worked. So,
well, on that note, then don't forget to also eat some real food today. Yep. Maybe make a cup of tea or something. Go say hi to your pops, and also get some rest because you're gonna need it with that busy ass schedule you got coming up.
Yes, I'm thinking today might be a nap day.
There you go, my man. That's what I'm talking about. All right, y'all. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you again so much, Bobby. I had so much fun. And I hope to talk to you soon in the future. And I will get in touch with you about some other stuff because I want to see you again.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was fun. Let's definitely do it again.
Hell yeah. All right. Bye, everybody. Say bye to Bobby. Bobby, say bye to the Slack Pack. We are out of here. Peace.